Hi, so this is part two, another unscripted video about my journey from Christianity to Satanism. So I'll give you some facts as I understand them, and I believe they're true. So within the Hebrew Old Testament, the Bible split into two bits, the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament is written in Hebrew and also it's called Proto-Hebrew, or very early Hebrew, Proto-Semitic, Proto-Hebrew, Proto-Semitic. It's there's similarities between. There's a few different Proto-Semitic languages. There's Hebrew, which in Hebrew, the language of the Jews, they don't call it Hebrew, they call it Avrit. So there's a few different Semitic languages. I'll tell you some. Avrit, Aramaic, Arabic, and then there's the ancient ones. But you notice that the three ones that I've mentioned, Avrit, Arabic, Aramaic, they all begin with similar, they all begin with A. So the ancient Bible is written in early Hebrew, but it actually it's early Semitic language and it borrows other languages. It borrows from other early Hebrew Semitic languages. So one of the languages it borrows from is called Ugarit. So if you look at the Old Testament, commonly if you read the word Lord, it's actually Lord is a translation of an Ugarit word, and it's actually the word is Baal, and it means Lord. But Baal is a pagan polytheistic deity in the land Greater Israel included Canaanite and Judea, and the Canaanites inhabited Cana, and there was various deities called Baal. So Baal was a polytheistic deity. Every time you read the word Lord in the Old Testament, you're reading the word Baal, and it's a pagan polytheistic deity. There was different Baals for different areas in ancient Cana, and there's actually a book called The Cycle of Baal, and in that book it lists different deities, goddesses and gods. So even so, just looking at the Old Testament, like every time that you read the word Lord, it's referring to a polytheistic pagan deity who had children and daughters and sons and wives. So that's one thing that Christianity hides. Here's the other thing. Uh, Another ancient name for the deity of the Bible is YHWH, is commonly called the Tetrahedron. Jews borrowed that name from another nomadic tribe, which the ancient Egyptians say this ancient tribe they were nomadic. And the Bible says Moses had a relationship with the daughter of a Midianite priest. Reading the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, it's more than likely that it was the Midianites who worshipped the deity which Moses copied. It looks like the Midianites called their deity YHW, and Moses simply stuck another consonant on the end. Moses changed it from YHW to YHWH. So Lord, the word Lord is Baal. It's a polytheistic pagan deity. Then you've got the name of the spirit of the Bible, YHWH. That's actually another pagan polytheistic deity. So that's just two things from the Old Testament which are highly objectionable. Then you've got the New Testament, and the promise of the New Testament is if you don't believe what Christians tell you, you're going to burn in hell forever. That's more than enough reasons to reject Christianity and reject monotheism. Monotheism. I just want to talk a little bit about Islam. The name of the deity of Islam is Allah. Then the name of the deity of Judaism is El. So you can see that El and Al are the same deity, just different pronunciation. The in the first line of the book Genesis in the Bible, it talks about Elohim. Elohim, it just means many El, more than one El. But you just got to look at El and Al and see it's the same deity. So they're both. So, and even the Old Testament says that there was more than one El. There was more than one deity called El. And if you look at the Quran, that talks about other deities. There's goddesses that begin with the name Alat, and you just look at Allah and Alat. You can see the similarity. Allah, Alat. There's even a temple to the goddess Alat in Syria. So the basic premise of monotheism is that there's only one divine entity. It's patently a lie. Just a little bit of research will show you it's an out and out lie. Allah had daughters. One of them is called Alat, but there's also Al Manusa, and there's a temple, as I said, to Alat in Syria. And then back to Judaism, it's copied lock, stock, and barrel from other Canaanite and Midianite spiritualities. And then Christianity is so loving and so kind that the central teaching of Christianity is if you don't follow us and believe what we tell you, you're going to burn in hell forever. So that's some of the reasons why I reject all forms of monotheism. Hail Satan! Hail Satan! Hail Satan!